The tornadoes the next. It's true North Carolina weather. But welcome to the Digital Lunch and Learn. And today we're going to show you how to get started in WebEx. The only thing I'm missing is the lunch.
Yeah, the common theme when we get together in this room is we'll pass a plate and everybody can donate food.
Thanks. Well, as you know, pretty much, is everybody familiar with WebEx in here?
So what?
Other than me?
What's that?
I know she is.
Are you familiar with WebEx?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
other than watching y'all yesterday?
Okay.
Did you hear us talking about you yesterday?
Thank you.
Yesterday was exciting.
Hear
It
us
was
talking about
crazy.
you
We went to Cisco yesterday and saw some of their
I called him everything.
I heard
premier technology. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year it'll be all changed, different.
True. We
Thanks,
got to
Joe.
start somewhere. But and it's their room systems. It's funny because this room used to be the pinnacle on campus. You know, if I say so myself, because it was mine. But it is. It's very primitive now compared to the way it operates and how it flows and the functions of it. And yesterday we just saw a brand new world, and it's opened up a whole world of ideas. And the thing about it that I liked about it, it wasn't Cisco pushing a product on us. It was they was giving us a plate, and we was making our own meal out of it to show how it can work at UNCP. So that's one thing I love about that whole venue, because you don't get that often with a lot of companies and vendors and reps and stuff. But today we're going to talk about WebEx. WebEx is really cool. It's almost changed my life. And I know some of you probably say, well, you were just saying that about Blackboard Collaborate this time last year. and I was, because we went to conferences. Where we go? Philadelphia to Winston-Salem, and talked about how great Blackboard Collaborate was. And it did. And Ms. Nancy brought in WebEx and was like, oh, it really ain't so great anymore. And so with WebEx, you really got 4 components. We have a meeting center, training center, event center, and support center. All right. The majority of what you're going to do probably is going to be based around in the meeting center. And this is just a brief highlight of that whole list. There's more of that list that you can go to this website. We apologize for that long link, but just go to uncp.edu/do-it. And on the menu bar, there's WebEx at the bottom, and it'll bring you to a lot of information and FAQs that you want to know about WebEx. But the majority of what you're probably going to do is in Meeting Center. And students have Meeting Center as well. Now, you as faculty members, you have access to all 4 centers, but students only have access to Meeting Center. And in Media Center, they can pretty much do everything that you can do, except the attendees part. They can only have connected devices. They can only have 8, and you can have up to 1,000. So it's pretty elaborate what everybody can do on campus now. You know, it's really cool. We can share screens, we can join meetings, we can record the meetings, invite attendees, and it's pretty unlimited. Like we said in the video earlier last week, your use of it is only going to be limited by your imagination. So the question that I've been getting from everybody and from students too is like, so what? Is it better than Skype? Is it better than Google Hangouts and all of the other stuff? Is it better than Blackboard Collaborate? And it's unanimously yes. Reason why we think so, because mostly it's an enterprise solution, where Skype and Google Hangouts is kind of consumer-based, and it's more stable. As you know, and if you work in Skype will drop out on you just about at any time. And the audio may drop out as well as the video. But how WebEx is set up, if you're in a low bandwidth area, your video may cut out, but your audio, it gives more priority to your audio. So it self-adjusts. And you typically could get that on enterprise systems, like our Polycom systems here on campus. If we connect it to our offsite and their video is not that good, it put all the emphasis on audio. So we're still transmitting. One thing I love about WebEx is there's no account needed for guests. You know, for all of these interviews that we've been doing for administrators on campus, we always have to create an account, get the folks to create an account, then we have to join up those accounts, and we have to share and invite each other to the session and get everybody to join in. There's no need for that with WebEx. You create your session, send an invite out, they can join immediately. There's no account needed. Even if you have an account, there's no account needed if you just join the session. One thing is no Java, like Blackboard Collaborate. And if Dr. Rick Crandall was in here and a few others, he would probably shout on that because Java has been a problem with Blackboard Collaborate and the installing part of it. And one thing that I really love about WebEx is that you can get started almost instantly. You don't have to download anything, you don't have to install. Now, if it's your first time using WebEx on your machine, you're gonna have to add on the WebEx, what do you call that thing?
Add-in. That's, I just called the add-on.
The add-on, yeah, you just add on the add-on.
Plugin, right?
Yeah, so when you first log in, it's gonna ask you to add on. It's not a download per se, but it's an add-on that you add on to it. Yes, ma'am.
But my
Unless you're in
screen
Chrome.
right now is saying add WebEx to Microsoft Outlook, and I think I went past that when I was trying it out at home.
Mhm.
And I think you can go without
Yes.
downloading. But it said something about Chrome as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure quite. You're going to go through what to do to
Yeah,
get it
the
all set up.
WebEx, there's a piece of WebEx that you can use with Microsoft Outlook that integrates with Outlook, so you can schedule your sessions right within sending an email or scheduling a meeting. That's an add-on, but we won't get on that today because that's a little bit more advanced.
What about Chrome when it said Chrome? So it seemed like I needed to do something. And I
Chrome is
wasn't
the
sure.
premier browser to use with WebEx.
All right, use Chrome.
Yes,
What you
use
call it.
Chrome if you can.
Don't use Outlook.
Well, Outlook is the email application
Oh, okay.
that she was talking about. Yes, sir.
It's compatible with Macs?
Yes.
Safari?
Yes.
Safari?
Yes. It's agnostic, so it works on everything. It works on every browser. It just works better with Chrome.
Would it work on the Explorer?
Sadly, yes.
Sadly, yes. Chrome, so Google and Cisco have an agreement so that it's native in Chrome, and they did that so that as people are using it with Chromebooks and things like that, it just pops up, and you don't need the plugin. Okay, so that's why Chrome is the recommended browser, because you need nothing to add, but it works in all the browsers.
And you won't need admin rights on your machine to install it, to run it on campus. Yes, sir.
And James, it also works with the iPad, iPhone on apps as well as Android, correct?
Yes.
So basically, there are a lot of formats that you can.
Yes, I even heard it works on BlackBerry. I'm scared to try that part. I heard it
Don't
does.
have one.
I don't have one.
You invest in one?
No.
BlackBerry HTC, is that what HTC is?
HTC is part of, is a company like,
I know it, but those are supposed to be the hottest phones coming down out
That's a
of
phone
China today.
manufacturer.
Yeah.
yeah.
You buy one of those and let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Not me, I'm just telling you, that's what they said.
There's a rumor going around, last time I checked with BlackBerry, that they're going to start taking on Android software. I don't know if that's for all devices or what, I don't know. But that's the rumor, they're going to try to take over a little bit more of the market. I'll come back on that. But yeah, you can download, there's a free app that you can download and join in. And we'll talk about a little bit of that today too if we have the time. But so this is the login site. Don't do like I do, there's no www. I was doing that, trying to figure out how in the world can I get in. Well, for students, it's UNCP-students, and for you, it's going to be uncp.webex.com.
Now, do we need to know that, or is that on that WebEx site? When you click into it and hit WebEx, is that information there?
It's also there, but you're going to want to know this. You're going to want to go and bookmark this.
Okay.
So you can just go straight there.
Okay.
But right now, it is not behind Brave Web or anything else.
Single sign-on.
Mm-hmm. So let's sign in. Let's see what it looks like. So when you get here, I already logged in, of course. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see Meeting Center, Event Center, Support Center, Training Center, and My WebEx.
But we have to download it first, right? Download the app first.
You could just go to, if you're going to, you Marquette and Tope, y'all can help me with this too. Go ahead on and log in, and yes, run that add-on.
Okay. So install.
What do you put in that blank box?
That blank box is if you, once you logged in, you're trying to join a session or an event or a meeting. You put in the meeting number.
As I was playing around with that, I get confronted with that, I say, what I gotta do here?
That's the
I'm
landing
already in.
page, pretty much.
So what I really have to do is the tabs rather than, just go to the tabs rather
Yes.
than that thing.
Yeah, but you can join a session if you already logged in and Dr. Thomas invites you to a session or whatever, you know the
So what do you
meeting
put in
number.
there?
You can copy and paste it in there if you want, or you could just,
They send you the number, is that what you're saying?
when you get the email,
They have a number.
well, I email you to invite you to this link as well. I mean, to this
So
session.
you have to give them that number, that code number. Right?
Well, it comes in the email. Once they create the session and
And then,
invite
but if
you,
they want to get in, then they have to type that in.
yeah, you will put that in, but you will put that in from your invite in your email. You won't have to log in.
Does that automatically do it, or does it do it? You have to physically type it in there.
You have to physically put it in. It's usually ask you for your name and email address.
But that number, you have to put in there.
I have seen times where I didn't have to put in that number.
No. So whoever schedules a meeting can have the option to require a password or require you to have the host the number to get in, right?
Or
So it's
not.
up to, or not.
Mhm.
So for instance, this page, like I live in WebEx a lot, so all my staff is out there and I keep this open all the time.
Mhm.
So if James said, Nancy, join me in my personal room, I just go ahead and pop the URL in there and say, go out,
Which
click on his
URL?
email and all that.
Like
I know
UNCP?
Yeah.
You'll see,
The
there's.
short person is getting ready to come tell you about
Yeah,
that.
you'll see.
Wait, does she have to be short?
Yeah.
I've never
Physically challenged, height challenged.
Okay. See,
But for the most part, you'll ignore
It
that.
has your name.
Yeah, I just go to the
Yeah,
tab.
you-
You always want to do
Put the
it
app
on
on there.
computer.
Yeah, you gotta go from the app on your Apple device.
You have to put the app on.
Yes, sir. You have to join from the app on a mobile device.
That's good.
Mobile devices, it looks the same on the browser, but it acts totally different.
Let's put your
So,
sunshine face
one
in
thing
it.
is I haven't downloaded.
So, but no one is in your room right now,
Okay.
so that's how you do it.
Yeah.
See, right now,
So
it's
just type in WebEx.
That's actually my
they're not
favorite.
seeing it, but once you click start.
Now, if you're using your iPad, this is where you need to keep your iPads up to date. Make sure it's at least iOS 8.
Yeah, you see that, but right now.
We on
it's
iOS
like,
9 now.
start your video.
Know
Make sure
what?
it's
I
at least
bet this
iOS
one's not
8.
on
That's
ours.
that's what the other ones are.
'Cause I tried to download it yesterday.
Oh,
Thank
personal
you.
room.
Click the first one.
Nancy, this is.
All right, so while they still doing that, Marquita's gonna come up and talk to you about scheduling and your options that you have within WebEx.
Okay,
Anybody got any questions before she starts?
I'm sorry, there's still, you
It's still going on?
have to download the app if you're on a, device. You have to go from the app.
Yeah, go from your app
From
store.
iTunes and all that?
You were in, yes, sir.
But
I'll
the
never
app
remember
store.
my name and password.
Well, it's the same as your UNCP.
Just one of
Oh, no, she's talking about the app,
No.
the app store.
Oh, app.
I was trying to see my software, but it doesn't.
Now, do you got it set
No, I
up?
never use it.
Current
It's
version.
at home. I mean, it's not here.
You're not logged in on it automatically?
It's not
Well,
on your
this is what comes up.
screen.
Okay, let's go here.
That it
Let's see
downloaded
this.
Oh, yeah.
on your,
You got it, man?
home screen.
Let's see this.
Oh, okay.
Because I've never used this one on this device before in my life, I think.
Looks like it's
Check
trying.
your email.
That's what it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's not verified.
Yeah.
I can get you an iPad to use. You want an iPad to use? So you can see it?
Sure.
All right.
Thanks.
It keeps making him
Download.
download it. And then it keeps going back.
But you know what? Go with everybody else. You don't have to hold it on me. I mean, everybody else is ready to go. I'll suck it in.
You want to try that?
So you do have to
He got
download
him,
an
he got
app.
him on his iPad.
If you're on a device.
Device.
Yeah.
We need to tell students that. I'm telling you, my son hates computers and iPads. He just wants to use his phone. Well, you know, that's the new world, I'm telling you.
By the way, one quick comment. This session is being videotaped, and I'll post the video tonight and send a link out. You guys will be able to review this material at your own leisure.
So you're saying we need to be careful what questions?
No, I wasn't thinking that at all.
Quiet, that's what I heard.
Okay, everybody. So as James mentioned earlier, you have 3 or 4 centers, but the one you're going to primarily be using is going to be your meeting center. There's a couple of ways to invite people. If you click on the I right here, which is your little information tab, you can get your link there, which is, pretty much like your address, come find me type thing. So again, it's right here. Once you click on meeting center and you hover over your I right here, you will get your information and you can copy and paste. And this is how people will get into your room. You can invite people from this button, All you have to do is go in and insert their insert their email addresses.
So let's do that. Let's invite a couple people. Now, Miss Nancy, we changed that. I put mine as virtual office. Everybody else is going to be.
It should be virtual. Well,
Personal
you
meeting
changed
room?
yours. It'll say personal room. So
Okay.
out of the box, Cisco calls this your personal room, and we tell them that's kind of creepy. So we've changed it. It'll come up on your options as a virtual office. But I believe, James, you had to go in and change that on
Yes.
your own personal settings to change that to virtual office.
Mhm.
And we recommend that because it just, especially if you're doing this with students and stuff, just sounds a little weird.
So you can put a whole listing of emails in?
Yes.
Like 4 or 5 in that
Yeah.
box?
See what I'm saying? You up and running already. TIT.
Not on.
Dr. T, I want to let you know that your friend did not know how to spell your last name.
That's not.
So-
It's okay, Dr. T. We can do lunch. Make up for it.
I know,
Make up for it.
absolutely.
Senator Topaz's way.
Bless your heart.
Nancy, what did you suggest we name it other than personal?
Virtual office.
Just virtual office.
Yeah.
you said.
So that way, it's almost like another center. Like
Mhm.
like they said, you got meeting center, event center, sports center, training center. Virtual office is very much, it'll have your name on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And lots of folks are enjoying using that because it's just super simple.
Mm-hmm. The thing about virtual office now, once you give that link out, anybody can come into that office just about at any time. And I'm stepping on your shoes, I know. They can come into your office with that link. And if you're not there, it'll send you a link saying, hey, such and such is in your lobby waiting for you in your virtual room. So think of your virtual room as your office. People can come and go as you want. They can knock on the door, you can let them in, or you can lock them out. Or if you're trying to do something specific or a specific event or a reoccurring class, you may want to set up a specific meeting event and meeting center, and she'll show you that as well.
Okay, so to do something a little more, in depth, other than, just clicking and inviting someone, you can go to schedule a meeting. And here you would just simply follow the prompts. It's very simple. You would enter a meeting topic. Of course, the things with the asterisks beside it are mandatory. So
How did you get into schedule a meeting?
Went to the
Okay.
meeting center.
Drop down bar and stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm in meeting center. I'm sorry.
thank you.
If I didn't mention it. I'm in the meeting center, and over to the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see a host of little tabs right here. And so you just click on schedule a meeting.
So would I be getting the same screen that you have there now on mine? Can I follow and have the same screen?
You can follow along.
This yours? We sent it to you.
Just let me use it.
We sent it to your email too.
Okay. Well, let me go.
Get it,
That's great.
James?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, back where I only sent one, because it didn't let me send
Okay,
any
well,
up, so
we'll
I only
send some
sent
more.
one. Okay.
We'll send some more out.
Okay.
So once you're there, you do click on schedule a meeting, and then again follow your prompt. So I'm just naming this. I'm just putting
But you want to
training,
Get out there.
and then you have a password here. You can set a password, or if this one seems like it may be a little long or a little complicated, you can have it to regenerate one if you like. And then you have your date and your time. Sadly, me and Topaz kind of struggled with this whole time thing. So you want to make sure you're on New York time, or else it's not going to come. So right now I have our training set for, or our meeting set for 12. Let's say, what time is it? Let's say 12:30. 12:35.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Okay, but I can't get in there until you go,
Right
okay.
Schedule a meeting.
Okay, so I'm
now. So fast.
gonna add.
Well, don't add them to my personal room instead of the actual session, since we already sent some
Okay.
out, if you don't mind.
Okay, you also have a little box here where you can have it send a copy to yourself, but you don't necessarily want to do that because basically what this email is just sending you the same email that your recipients are going to get, that your attendees is going to get, and it kind of clogs up your inbox somewhat. So once you're done with all of that, you could
Before you click that,
skip.
can I ask you one question?
Sure.
That password, that is a password that's being assigned for this session that you're gonna have. It's
Yes,
not
sir.
your password.
Right. It's gonna be in the email.
Right.
Email
That-
address, email
is sent out.
So you can control who attends.
Yes, right.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
That's the difference between this and your personal.
Right, okay, just wanted to clarify that.
So once you finish all that, you just schedule the meeting. That's it. Your session is scheduled. Now, if you want to do a reoccurring session or a reoccurring class or a reoccurring meeting that's going to happen on a certain amount of days,
That's where you would go to the advanced scheduler. This is, getting a little more into the meat and potatoes. As you know, it's lunchtime. So you'll be getting a little more into the meat and potatoes here. But again, it's pretty much self-explanatory, your date, your time. The time is where you would go in and have it set up to where you would want it done daily, weekly, monthly. If you're gonna have this meeting every month, like we have a department meeting every month. So if you want to do it that way, you can schedule it monthly. Or if you're doing a class or some type of setup with your students and you want it done weekly, you would click here. Click in this area. And then once you're done, you would click your schedule, your meeting.
okay.
So I'm
Let's
gonna
go back. Let's go and go in. You can go ahead and let's invite some more people
okay.
since we didn't send that email out.
So I'm gonna enter the room. And here's where we're gonna have to download,
Add that WebEx extension.
add the,
Mm-hmm. And see what it's doing is it's adding on and downloading this file, and then once you get that file, you should click up for it, and then you want to click run. And bam, you're in your WebEx session. Now let's just say, for example, you forgot, or some people say they didn't get your email. You can go to here, and let's invite some more people. Let's invite. We got Dr. Aiken. Let's send the Topaz one. Well, she already has hers. So go back to email.
okay.
Here you go.
Oh, there's 2 L's? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, and okay.
Okay. And Topaz will talk about this a little bit more. But let's hit done. Let me hit.
You want to invite some more?
That's good. We'll let the rest
Just the
of them.
2? Okay.
So this is basic, your basic WebEx window. You have your menu bar. This area right here is your content area. And this over here is your panel area. So Topaz, talk to us about once you get in that session, what we're gonna do once we get in there.
Okay, guys. Once you're in your session, first thing what I like to do when I first get in is turn my camera on because I like to be seen. So you might want to turn your camera on first, and to do that, you'll just click the green bubble that says "Start My Video." If you accidentally hit the X and it goes away, you can just tap
You'll see an email.
the camera icon right beside your name, and it's going to turn your camera on.
Where's that again?
The camera icon is right beside your name in the participants window.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? James Lewis, okay.
Yeah, does your iPad don't have a webcam in it, evidently. There you go. Yeah, so it won't pop up if you don't see it.
Okay.
But if you don't have a camera, especially if you're one of the folks who got those, just let me know. I have a camera for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
You don't
no
have-
problem.
so you're
You
good.
just tap it and take it
All
back
right.
away.
So once you get your camera started, the next thing you're going to do is get your audio started so that everybody can hear you and you can hear everybody else that's in the session as well. So there's 3 boxes here in the middle of our screen.
These will know those?
Connect to audio, share screen, and invite and remind. We're going to go straight to our audio, and I'm going to click the more option. We recommend that you use call using computer because it's the most simple. You can just hit that button and it'll use whatever microphone you have installed on your computer and or device, and it'll use that for your microphone. You'll also be able to hear people through your computer as well. If you don't want to use your computer, you can use the I will call in feature, and what this will do, this will supply you with the number.
Okay.
This will supply you with a number, and you can call that number and then you can hear it through your telephone.
All right, so this is where we want to interject. Miss Nancy, you can help me with this too. So, we want to make sure that we're using, let's disconnect here. We want to connect, if possible, we want to connect using the computer. But if you're in a bad area and your bandwidth is not strong enough, we want to make sure that we want to do, I will call in, and we want to use the toll-free number, correct? Right. I want to use that top toll-free number. The bottom one,
Oh, I see.
yes, the bottom one will encourage. We got
James.
Yes, ma'am.
While we are doing this, you sent me to one, I'm honest. You see me there.
Yes.
But then you sent me another invitation.
Yes, Marquita reminded you.
That's a reminder?
Yeah, and Topaz is going to get to that. So once you get in the session, you got some students that are late, haven't showed up. You can send them a reminder.
Students like that?
And we're jumping ahead because that's Topaz's session.
I'm sorry.
She's going to probably mention it to me later. But yeah, you can get in and remind them.
Go ahead about the call-in though, because that's important.
Okay, so we got a bucket of minutes associated with our enterprise account for UNCP. Right, we got a bucket of them, and that's with the toll-free numbers. Okay, if we use this bottom number, the toll number, that is outside of our bucket of minutes, and we pay extra for that.
Well, can we remove that
That's what I was
somehow?
thinking.
We worked on that, and no, we can't.
You gotta figure out a way to remove that, because they're
Well,
not paying attention to
no.
repair.
Not really, because we can't remove it without some major programming work.
Mhm.
But the
It's gonna cost
reason
you a
that the
fortune.
toll number is in there is if, let's suppose you're faculty and you're studying abroad, there are a couple countries where you can't use a toll-free number, you have to use the toll number. So if we remove it, we've
I
just
would
now
put that
eliminated a
somewhere
bunch.
hidden
We
and
can't.
email it.
We can't. So, then the other piece is,
When that's $30,000, what are you gonna do?
we'll charge you back for it.
It's not gonna be me.
We've already got
It's
the
gonna be you.
Blackboard
And what about the students?
So we can, the cool thing is, yes, we can monitor this, and we're monitoring it now weekly to watch as we begin to adopt this, what happens. So as, you know, what James is saying is really important. So as the early adopters, it's really important for all of us to encourage people to use your computer. But there are gonna be times, like, for example, your students, they gotta call in on a cell phone, they're getting a bad reception or whatever. And so you just keep telling them, well, then use the toll-free number, right, and call that. And it just becomes habit. So 9 times out of 10 people are using the VoIP thing, and then once it becomes a habit, it's not an issue. But we will monitor, and there are some schools where they charge back because it might be that, you know, Sarah does a lot of teaching with this and she's got this huge bill because it does it according to the host. So if I'm always hosting these meetings that have a lot of charges, I'll be able to see that, okay? So we're gonna watch the behavior. Hopefully it will be very affordable and we won't have to ever charge back. But that's why the habit's so important,
You better
right?
watch
Because
Joe's behavior.
if you learn, we'll be watching yours.
Well, you know what? This is a Skype world. You don't have a call-in option using Skype. So you have to call in over your computer. To use your phone on Skype is extra. So we really just about can use this only in times of backup emergency. Because if you're using Skype or Google Hangouts, you're gonna have to use voice over IP. That's call using your computer, using a microphone on your.
Yeah,
And what
and
about
that's part of what makes this a robust
That is
tool.
still the same way?
So we want to use. I think if the call me is gonna call.
It's gonna ask you for your phone number.
Yeah, it'll say, so I can put in my office number, but that's in the more expensive bucket too.
Right,
Okay.
right. So we
It's kind
want.
of like the old time cell phone plans.
So we're trying to get away from the call me feature and just use this as backup. So, all right, I'm gonna let you get back to your thingy.
I'm sorry, you took my way.
Start to good habits early.
Okay, our next bubble is our share screen. And what this is gonna allow us to do is to share anything on our computer. So we can share files, we can share our desktop, we can share an application that you have on your computer. But the important thing you wanna remember when sharing your screen is that it has to be open. So if I'm trying to share a Word document that I've already created, it needs to be already open on my computer or it's not gonna show up. So when I click the more option, you'll see the only thing that's gonna show is Google Chrome because that's the only thing I have open on the computer right now. So I'm gonna share it just so that you can see what it's gonna look like when you do share your application.
So you're saying you can't open a document? once you're in there? You have to have it already open? That's what I heard you say.
No, you can still go back and open stuff.
Okay.
You just, whatever, if you have a specific document that you want to share at that moment, it already needs to
It
be.
needs to be open already. Unless you share your desktop,
Now, if you share your
You
entire
actually
desktop, just know everybody
go
is
in there
seeing,
and click and it'll pop up.
seeing
Yeah.
everything that you're doing.
Yeah. they're gonna see
What are you
everything.
doing over there?
So you have
James?
so on a Microsoft Word, you have to open it up and leave it open on the
Yes.
desktop?
Yes. Mhm.
You just can't go in like you're doing an email and say choose and it'll.
No. You can't do that with Skype either. You already got to have that bad boy on.
It's a defect. That's a defect there. They're way behind it.
How's that? You can give me trouble anyway. But yeah, just have it open and it'll bring it up.
So when you're sharing your screen, you'll know that you are sharing because you'll see the green tab at the top that says you are now sharing whichever application you're actually sharing. You can hover over the top and you can pause your screen sharing, or you can assign somebody. You can use your audio features and your chat features, which James is going to get into later. But you can also annotate on anything you're sharing at the time as well. So I can just click annotate, and let's just say I had this and I was in class and I wanted class to pay attention to this section. I can annotate and they would see it on their WebEx screen.
Now.
Stop sharing, you just click the stop sharing button
We
up
were just
here,
trying to
the
see.
big red button,
I'm still looking at it over.
and it's going to take us right back into WebEx.
Now you're in James's room. You're just putting your name down.
Now, you see how that looks a little funky once you start sharing. So you see how that took your menu bar up to the top and made your screen is.
So you get to share by the share application. Is that what it is?
I click this more option, and then I just clicked whichever. You can just share a file that's on your computer, so that doesn't have to be open. And you can also share your whole desktop. But I just clicked Google Chrome, and you'll see that it'll throw that toolbar up there at the top.
You just said it doesn't have to be on the desktop.
Say it again.
I'm trying to,
Computer.
could you repeat what you just said about it, about opening a file? Did you just say it doesn't have to be open on the
Yeah, if you're sharing a file,
file?
so if I go to share file,
Uh-huh.
it's going to open up my documents window.
Oh,
So
okay.
now I can
So
go
it
in
will be
here.
open then.
So you can
Yeah.
open up anything you want to.
Right, share a file and share application is different.
Yes,
And I'm
yeah.
gonna show you in a second the difference in.
Gotcha, I understand this. I thought you meant file. Okay.
Applications. Now, when would you want to share an application? That'd be complicated.
Share an application like your PowerPoint.
Yeah, or like the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But you can open up your
But a
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is a file.
No, it's different. I'm gonna show you how.
I'll let
It's a
you
little
show.
complicated.
And you can chime in too, to get the champion.
No, I don't want to get ahead of you. I'll wait till you're ready.
So there's a little difference.
I'll have no confused.
So there's another way, if you wanna see, we can share, you can share, send files to your students
Yeah.
as well. I'll show you.
PowerPoint is an exe file, isn't it?
No.
PowerPoint's a PPT.
Mm-hmm. It's
PX.
EXE is an executable file, so that means it's some sort of installation or add-on.
Right.
Yes, sir. That answer your question?
I could send that to somebody, couldn't I? They couldn't run it, but I could send it to somebody.
I'm supposing so. I haven't tried doing so, but I'm supposing so. It says sharing files so that you can transfer. I don't see why you couldn't. But
Because when you're talking about sharing a program, you mean a program that is running so that other people can see it. Is that what you're saying?
So they can actually interact with it too.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Which would be more similar to an application.
Yes.
I don't see a PowerPoint as an application. I see it as a file.
Well, you're not gonna. Well,
I mean, if an email, I just, here's a file of the PowerPoint, I just send it to them,
Well,
as opposed to an application where it has some type of activity going on within it.
well, you can. So once you open up that application, if Topaz had a sample PowerPoint, maybe you could open up a PowerPoint. You can annotate on top of that PowerPoint.
Oh,
I guess the definition is
I don't know who's
confusing.
logged in.
I am. So I'm not.
Talking
you're
about
not getting
how
messed
it's
up.
running as opposed to the
Right.
file
So
itself.
James, isn't the real difference is if you're sharing the application, they can interact with the application and actually go in, hear it, see it, touch it, change it,
Mm-hmm.
versus if I'm sharing a file, everybody's just looking at it, I can give them rights to annotate, but I'd have to choose to save that separately.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I can pull up a PDF file and nobody can touch it.
right.
They
The
you can't.
file, yeah.
Yeah.
You can choose to let them annotate it, and you can actually save that as a separate file while you're in the WebEx if you wanted to.
So don't go too deep on me yet. We still learning it too.
So Jack, the difference
We'll
is
experiment with it.
you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
open
right.
a file unless you have the application that can open that file. So that's the difference. If you didn't have PowerPoint, the executable installed on your computer, you double click on that PPT and it's going to say, I don't know where this goes. Tell me how to open this. So a file is simply data that's loaded into an application. They're not the same thing.
But I would have it on my side, but maybe they don't have it on their side.
In that case,
don't-
if you share a file and they don't have it, they can't run it.
Right.
But if you, and I'll give you a use case. So I had a coach once who loved to interact with the athletes and show them their game videos, right? But the problem was the application that the coach was using was something none of the players had. So they had to come into his office, look at the videos. But with this, he could actually share the application and they could be not just looking at, but actually interacting with it as if it were on their desktop, right? So that's the thing. It was like magic because now no matter where those athletes were, he could share the game day videos and they didn't have to have the application, right? It's different than just seeing the screen. When he tried to share it as just share my screen, they see themselves running across the field, but they can't hear anything, right? They just see it. So does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have many applications. I have PowerPoints, but
There might be some, especially if you have some software that you've purchased and your students don't have it, that's a, example, or whoever you're meeting with doesn't have it, you can share that application and it doesn't matter whether they've got it or not.
All right, our next section is the invite and remind. I think Keith was in here briefly. So you can invite people if you forgot to do it when you were doing your scheduling, by just putting in their email and separating it with commas. You can also invite them from their phone by putting in their phone number. Or maybe not, because that's gonna do the.
Now, the question here is,
That's
that
gonna
gonna
do
do
the
that
same
toll
thing.
number or not?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
We need to find that out.
Yes, we need to find
That's
that out.
another question we'll have to
Okay.
ask.
Write it down.
And then you have a remind feature, which in case somebody forgot that you had a session the next day, you can send them a quick reminder and say, hey, the session's tomorrow. You have these three icons right here. You have record, which is pretty much self-explanatory. You can record your sessions. James is going to get into recording a little bit later in his part. You have a lock room feature. When I think of lock room, I think of it as a locked door with a peephole. So what this is going to do is, if you're in your session, and you're having an office meeting with Johnny, and Sarah is trying to come in and talk to you about her grades, but you're having a private conversation with Johnny, you can lock your room so that Sarah can't come in and talk to you. But you can see that Sarah's trying to get in because her name is going to pop up here at the top. So you can see her, but she can't come into the building into your room until you're finished with Johnny.
But
Or
this is
until
our
you let her
personal
in.
room.
Or until you let her in.
A virtual
Because you can
office.
let her in while you're in there with Johnny if you want to. So that's the lock room feature. Leave room is just pretty much you just leave your room, or you can click the X to exit out of your WebEx session. Then, so we're in our quick start tab. That's what this page right here is. But you have a meeting info tab, which will give you your extra information in case you forgot something like your meeting number, the toll-free number, the access code that they will need, and your attendee ID number.
so that meeting number and access code are identical, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, out of 100 calls, maybe I've used that once.
Mhm.
It's mostly interacting with people in the corporate world where they've hosted a meeting versus us. Right.
And the last thing I'm going to talk about is there is a whiteboard feature on WebEx. So I'm going to briefly explain the basic tools that we have on the side. There's two features that are my favorite, and the first one is this icon right here. And I like this icon because if me and Keita and James are simultaneously trying to work on a document, and Keita's like, Topaz, I'm trying to get to, what are you talking about in this second paragraph? I'm like, Keita, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? She can take her mouse and click, and I would see her name pop in whatever section she's trying to show me. So if James was in it and I was in it, we could all be in here at one time and see where everybody is on that one document without having to try to figure it out with her trying to explain to me where she is, because that's just terrible. So at your other icons, you have a basic text box. This is just, you can make lines and arrows, your shapes. You have a pen and pencil. This just changes your colors. You have an eraser. And then this is my second best feature. This is the save. You can save your whiteboard, and it will save to your documents, or you can save it to your desktop or wherever. So anytime you're on your whiteboard and you're annotating with just yourself or with students or others, you can save it to your computer.
And is it a picture, or is it the document with the changes?
It's whatever y'all did on this screen when you save it.
But I mean, can you manipulate that once it's saved,
Save it
or
as a
is it a
JPEG?
picture?
I can't remember if it saves a PDF or a JPEG. I can't remember 100%. But
But you
Topaz can
can't
go
really-
through it now and do it. Or she's doing it now.
See it.
So you see it.
So you have that
Can't
option.
save it as
to go to
PDF.
PDF.
Did you show them where they could invite other people to annotate up there on the top
Look at the
left,
PDF.
below that
I
blue
can't change it,
pen?
yeah.
Did you do that in the
I
setup?
sent it as a doc.
I did.
You said where, Miss?
I think it's that, under the blue marker there, I think it's there.
So you can invite him. Click on
Yeah,
anything,
so-
he can go to it.
You can,
What's that
yeah.
do?
So
There's
you can
also a
invite them to
feature-
annotate. Anybody that's in your meeting. So like a whiteboard, a lot of times when I've had a big meeting, like, with, 15, 20 or more people in it, we'll start off and I'll have the whiteboard up there and put some silly question or tell them to, put a smiley face when they get there, and it just gets everybody using the tool. But they can't annotate that. They can't add anything unless you give them permission, okay? So if you got a nice whiteboard you don't want to mess up, you don't have to worry, they can do it until you've given them permission to do it.
There is a feature in the setup process. I don't think it's in the advanced scheduling. It's a tab where it's a checkbox that you can click annotate, and that's going to allow everybody in your session to be able to annotate on one document if you wanted them to. You don't have to have it to where they can.
Like, so it's very robust, a lot of options.
And
That's
you,
the
you,
problem.
could even,
You have to have a notebook to do it.
you could even make that full
You
screen.
can't
as well.
remember all
Yeah,
of
you
this.
can make this full
Whatever,
screen.
what time
You have
Practice.
grows on you.
this is going
Yeah.
to zoom our screen in.
Look at Stuart there. You see him?
This is
I see.
this is going to zoom
Is
us
that you,
out.
Stuart? You sure? Ugly looking booger.
And we have the fit to scale, and then this will make the entire thing full screen. Or fuller screen.
Like any technology, you think you've learned it on there, add another feature, like what you just did. I didn't even know we could do that.
How did you do that?
Wait to go back to it.
See, that's too much, that one.
So, it's right here. It just expands the window.
How do you get out of that?
You gotta go-
It'll
Go to
go
the
like
green
this.
tab.
So just hover over the tab up here at the top and just hit return.
Take it all down.
Now it took me a while to figure out how to add a page to the whiteboard. And I'm pretty sure it's probably a simpler way, but from what I've understood, I go to edit, add page, and it adds me another page. So when you go to your drop down now,
That's probably
That was
it.
complicated.
I figured it would have been a simpler way on the actual screen where you could add page, but I
You
can't
mean
find
click a
it.
button?
What's
But,
that plus right there? Does that just
probably
enlarge
This
it?
zooms
That's
in,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
This zooms in, this zooms out, and this is fit to scale.
So we should have prizes for whoever figures it out.
That's the only way I can figure it out is to go to edit and hit add page. Because if you click new whiteboard again, it's going to give you a whole separate
Click on edit
whiteboard.
again.
This one.
Click on edit again like you're gonna add another page.
No, the edit,
Edit.
Oh,
the drop down menu.
And add page is underlined at D. So that's a hotkey, right? You could do a Control D.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say it out beside it like the others do that. That's weird.
No.
Stuart, put your face
A
in
whole
there.
bunch of whiteboards.
Yes, you have
There it is.
a pile of whiteboards.
Look at it, look at the speaker,
Mhm.
like a pigeon, you know?
That's it for my part. James is going to come up and explain the rest.
So last week I met with MCNC and we were discussing the refresh, and I had an image of, we did through via WebEx, and I had an image of what I wanted in the refresh, and both of us was just going through marking up and doing measurements. It was crazy cool, and I ended up having like 6 different whiteboards and
Really?
everything. It was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Please, that's too complicated.
It sounds like it, but you start playing with it. So this is our panel area. This is what you call your panel area. In your panel area, you're going to have all your participants. You're going to have your chat sessions, your recording, your notes. You can also add in a polling feature. So you can click this download here and go to Manage Panels. And you, as the moderator, you can add polling in here, just by there, clicking that. And now you got a polling tab.
What do you mean by polling?
Ask questions and get a yes or no.
Multiple choice.
So how do we
Yes or no,
choose our
true,
answer?
false.
Mm-hmm.
How do we choose our answer?
Topaz, this is your area. Really, you're really good at this. You want to talk about this? What's going on?
They're not gonna rescue you, Jane.
Is that Jack?
I don't see any place.
Then you can tell it where you want it to be a multiple choice or single answers here. And then you can tell it to record individual responses and then hit add. Topaz is stronger at this part than I am. The polling feature.
So what do I do, Topaz?
I don't know what James is talking about, but I can try to figure it out. I got not on polling on WebEx, but I'll figure it out.
I'm sorry, you're the breakout room.
Yeah.
You can create polls,
Where's
you
the
can do
chat?
it live while you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll help you,
Maybe.
just tell me when to shut up, okay? So you can create the polls ahead of time if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
you
go to
can
open.
save them
Yeah.
on your computer, and then you can open them, so you can bring them out anytime during whatever session you're in. You can record the responses, you can time when you open the poll, right, and you can close the poll, and then you can show people the responses too. It will graphically show the responses, you're gonna love it.
You see the red?
Mm-hmm. See
So
how
you
she
just
doing
add
that?
the question, like James said right here, you just click new to add a question, to add an answer, you just click add,
Once they click.
I can say no. Enter.
So have you deployed that to us yet?
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
How do
Oh,
we-
you mean the poll to the.
no, because I think at the bottom you see it says open poll,
Okay,
so I haven't opened it yet.
all right, gotcha.
And then you can record
You can let it just tell it the time, of course.
timer.
So just explain it to her there.
Let's open it. I don't know who Jack is though. Let's open
Open
That's
poll,
fine.
send poll.
Yeah, so you send it out, and you notice she could have timed it that she wants it available for 3 minutes. So let's
I don't
suppose.
see
it. Yeah, because we have a timer going down for
Yep.
5 minutes. You so on 4:40.
So where is it?
Are you in my session?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it
I
didn't
see
pop.
you right there.
It's
My
Where are
chat
you?
is right there.
Where are you?
Oh, so she
I
chatted.
cut
with
it
me.
off,
See, good.
because I
a
don't
good
like the
little-
camera. All right, there we go.
Uh-oh, there you are. Now you're not up there though.
Guys,
We want to see you on the board.
Do we have to
I
enable?
did.
There she is.
Where?
I see her.
Is nobody not seeing
There
that
she
one?
is.
So let's talk about that. So you can minimize or maximize, I guess you would call that, just by clicking those
Y'all
tabs.
send out the thing?
Your panels.
We're trying to.
So, where's my chat?
You can
Where's
also
my
get a
poll?
list instead of.
Yeah.
Yes,
You didn't show
get a
me.
list view.
Let's
that's
leave
not,
the
that's the
room.
lead.
not able to do that because I'm
Is it showing us here?
It's not. It's not.
There it goes. You hover over the video icon and we can get a list view
Yeah.
versus the picture.
No,
You're on a
trying
different
to
Or you can go full
find
screen.
the polling, James. How does she?
On the iPad,
her
she can't find it.
questions.
Meeting number.
She's on a totally different page than you.
No, I'm on the
She's got, this
whiteboard.
is what it looks like on the.
See, that's
Well, you gotta
his
get out of
stuff.
the whiteboard. Once you get out of the whiteboard.
Do it, Charles. You got it figured out.
I know.
Look at the chat menu there and see if
Okay.
it's under there.
Right
But she's
there.
on the iPad. That's why I'm a little.
I've had the chat. I
Okay,
wrote
we got
hello.
the chats.
For that question.
It's the
She's in the
the
whiteboard. She's gotta get out of the
questions.
whiteboard in order to get into that.
I'll have to play with it on the mobile device. Supports the polling.
Okay. So. Let's see if we can get back out.
Okay, so you see, she sent me a chat, right? And you saw where it was red, so it lights up if you haven't answered that chat yet. Now, one thing about your chat window, you want to be careful. You can chat to everyone in your group, or you can chat to anyone specifically, privately. So just be careful how you do that when you're chatting.
Like if you mean to say, Karen, what is he talking about? Make
Yes.
sure you didn't click the everyone button.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so one of my favorite features is when you get these
James
meetings.
joined.
Hmm?
James joined.
Oh,
James joined the meeting.
probably.
Did you find the
Oh yes.
poll?
Yes.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Go to participants window.
Okay, so another one of my favorite features is the notes.
Camera icon.
So as you're in a meeting or a class, you can be taking notes of all of this.
Yeah, James, this goes
Yes.
back to me not being able to see the poll, but I can't see the notes. Is that your notes? Am I
Yes, those are
supposed
yours.
It's my
Yeah,
notes.
Everybody has their.
It's
So
the
I'm
model.
only supposed to see the whiteboard, because that's what I said.
Yes, ma'am.
So and we don't know how I'm supposed to see the poll that,
No, let me figure that out and get that to you.
all right.
Because I know you can see it on the desktop, but I'm not.
This is a lot of fun. It's 12 o'clock, I'm on.
Okay.
All right, so we have our notes.
Yeah.
And so you can simply
Everybody's
save your
phone.
notes just by
Yeah,
clicking
everybody's
save, and it
phone.
saves as a text file that you can open up in Word or Notepad.
Probably because he's in his meeting info.
All right, so everybody see that,
Been real, yes.
your notes? And then,
Yeah,
got about 2 minutes left.
2 minutes.
Let's talk about the recorder first, really quick. The recorder, we got an option to record on the server.
James, everybody's seeing the whiteboard. I don't know why.
Everybody seeing the whiteboard?
And the remote devices on it?
Why do we want to record?
Yeah, everybody's seeing that whiteboard
Make sure
on the
we-
mobile devices.
Well, now it's gone
Where
back
do you-
to share.
Where do you have an inventory of recordings then? You can go back and listen to what you said?
Yeah, you can record your session, but you want to make sure that you get that out within about 24
But
hours.
where do you put it?
It saves it on the server.
And then what do you do? I mean, what
We
do
want you to download it to your computer
I'll give the academic.
really quick, because we don't have the space for it.
Oh, that's it on our
Otherwise,
server.
it'll go away?
It will go away. Eventually, we're working out a detailed
But
plan.
where would I put it? Just put it on my desktop?
Yeah, you can put it in your desktop, you can put it on your iDrive, your K drive.
So I'd have to
You can load it into
have
Blackboard.
a folder with all these recordings.
You can record your session and just sit simply by hitting recording. And then once you finish, you hit stop.
Little red button, recording,
Yep.
recording stop. Yeah. Shows you.
Now, to get to all of your list of recordings, you want to go back to your browser screen and My Recorded Meetings.
On a list of them.
And it'll list each one.
And then you have to pull them off of there and put them
And then
on.
you want to download each one. I don't have one that I've done yet, so it would pop up here, and you would click on the little download button that says download to computer. All right. So you want to make sure if you do record your session, that you download it to your computer within about 24 to 48 hours.
Will you remember all that for me, Stuart?
Sure.
Okay, I know we're about running out of time, and there's a lot of stuff that we still. That's why I said it's getting started. So, all right. So one big feature that we hadn't even talked about yet is passing this ball. So when you pass this ball, you're giving your other attendants permission to host, or not host, but to share in that session. So, for example, you want to have Dr. T out? I'm gonna pass the ball to him.
So I can't pass the ball.
I just click on his name, right click,
What about my other
change role to presenter. Or I can just drag the ball to him. And it asks me, do I want to make him the presenter? And now he can share, has the privilege to share and do his whiteboard. Now, as the moderator, I can go back and remove that from him as well.
As the host.
Excuse me, as the host, thank you.
So you can go back and
In
forth.
case that
Okay.
presenter
Yes.
gets out of
I
control.
can go back and pull it from.
Man.
See, I can see the polling on his thing, the polling and stuff,
Yeah, because he's not on a mobile device.
but I
Yeah,
can.
we'll have to find
The
out why
mobile
it's not
devices
showing
are
up on the
one.
mobile
Mhm.
devices.
One thing that you're going to find useful, if you go to the participant menu, is you can have everybody, you can select to where all of your folks that's entering your session, it'll automatically mute as they coming in, so you won't hear the dogs barking and everything. Or you can unmute all.
I couldn't see it.
You can set it where it has an entry and exit tone, so you can know when somebody comes in, when they leave.
See it here, but I can see it here.
And you can take this privilege off. Anyone can share. Dr. Kim Sellers called me. She was saying that she was in a class and all of a sudden just documents started popping up on her screen from her sharing. Her students were sharing. So I just said, go in here and turn that off. And now, the only people that can share is the only ones that you pass the ball to.
So you may have a list of people you can pass it to, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 people. Yeah.
Well, say it again now?
You can have a whole host of people, or a whole list of people you can pass the ball to.
Yeah, you have to pass it to them individually.
And then
Pass the ball to anybody who's a participant.
Charles can pass it to Stuart, Stuart can pass it to him, unless you fumble it.
Let me show you this. You can transfer files really quick. You can go to File and Transfer. So that there's, I want a specific document that I wanted to send to Dr. Tito of my participants.
Real time.
Let's open up my browser window here. Let's just see if I got a document up here. So I want to send him this report. Upload it, hit share. Oh. And he should have it on his window. You have that on your window pop up?
That's a VBS report?
Yes.
Yep.
And he can download it.
You can only do that to one, whoever.
It does it to all of your participants. So everybody that's in my session should have gotten it, except for on the mobile device.
Can you right click on a participant and share file? I know you can right click on them and,
That's the session, it's recorded, right?
Limited capability on
Yeah.
mobile device.
I can expel them.
yeah, you can kick them out.
So if Johnny's acting up, I can just right click on Johnny's name and expel him.
Later,
Or
Johnny.
one way that comes in really handy, especially if people are joining on their phone, you'll see call in user number 1, call in user number 2, and you can right click and I can say, James, is that you? And he comes in, I can name him James. And if you see a call in user and you don't know who they are, you can just kick them out. Gone. So that way you can control your meeting.
One other feature that I like to use is I go to share, go to file, and I find the file that I want to share. And I'm gonna open up this report again. And what it does, it puts that here in my content area and loads it up now. Okay, and now.
Because he's got it on his
I can highlight and mark up these reports.
I'm just
And
saying.
that's, and that's showing on my mobile device. Like,
And you can export this out and save it as a PDF or a brand new document as well.
You're a brilliant man.
Yes, that's just a few of the features. So this is a getting started. So as you, the next few weeks, we're gonna narrow it down.
Every
to
week
one
get
by
more
one.
complicated.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I'm gonna bring Stuart here so he can.
We'll have a
That was
full
Buy me
the
lunch
hit,
to help
brother.
you, Jack.
101.
There you go.
all right. Any questions? That's just a good getting started. Help
So
you get in.
next week, WebEx 102.
We'll try to get something like that narrowed down, and then later on, maybe in another month or so, we're gonna try to show you Training Center, because Training Center has one feature that I think faculty members may like called breakout rooms. If you have a need for that, where you can break out your folks to different sessions.
Yeah. One thing we thought about doing is what we call jam sessions, where we would send you all the link and have you join from wherever you are and teach you as we go, like rather than sitting in a room doing it.
Oh,
Would that be interesting to you all?
That would be interesting.
And then I say, Charles, I'm passing you the ball, now share your screen, right? And then, okay, now give Stuart the ball. No, I say,
Practical
give Stuart the ball, right? So if you, that's one way we thought, maybe that way you
Yeah,
have
that'd be
your
great.
device should be in your spot, right?
And
Then
then
we'll do
WebEx,
another
Plan
one
some of
with
those.
mobile
Yeah.
devices, just talk about the capabilities of the mobile app.
How'd they get there?
We could send some coaches out. We have some
Okay.
students that are working with these guys that are going to be coaches for folks. So if you all go, I sure could use somebody to come spend an hour with me. Just let one of us know and we'll deploy our students based on their course schedule to come out and, like James said, everybody's learning together, but they would sit there and help you navigate that. So just feel free to ask us if that's something you're interested in. Because that's their job. Just tell us when and where.
And Dr. Spallon, I know like you're in their class, I don't want to do it for a whole lot, but I will. But if you got a class that you just getting going, let me know and we'll try to get in on that class if we're available and kind of guide you through if you have any issues or whatever.
And our plan is, the more demand, if that works for you all, we'll have more students do it
Yes.
and train more, and they're having a blast, and they're doing a great job working with you guys, because James and Marquita and Topaz can't do it all.
Exactly.
These young students
Unless
learn
they're
faster than we
giving
They
do.
learn fast, and they're not afraid to click.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Also, there's a listserv.
Oh,
How you doing,
yeah.
Doc?
Yes, there's a
How you
listserv.
Having fun?
I will email that to
How
you.
about you?
Sign-in sheet, James, so we could email it, or you'll remember everybody that's here.
Yeah, I think I will.
Get all this trip.
I got
Or you can review the video. if you-
That's right.
You leave one?
I'll email you. I got everybody on video, so I'll email you
Ah.
the link.
Morocco.
See how checkers.
Thank you, guys.
Just don't let them take the Penn
How you
State.
doing, huh?
Just want them, don't take the Penn State. Who cannot take that.
It's got me. It's got me.
Thank you very much, okay?
Yeah, no problem, Dr.
Really
T.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get my
Jack, you need